everyone. It's Dina Calmetti here, and for today's broadcast, I just have a few quick updates I'd like to bring to you. And I first would like to start with this report from Breaking Israel News, and they are reporting that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that war with Gaza could break out in the next few days, with less than 1 week until the elections. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that rocket fire from Gaza is making an IDF incursion inevitable. During an interview, Netanyahu warned that war seemed imminent. He said, "I do not wage war unless it is a last resort, and I don't risk the lives of our soldiers and citizens just to get applause. It looks like no other choice but to embark on a wide-scale campaign against the terror forces in Gaza. There probably won't be a choice but to topple the Hamas regime. Hamas doesn't exert its sovereignty in the Strip and doesn't prevent attacks. We have a situation in which a terror group that launches rockets has taken over and does not rein in rogue factions even when it wants to." Netanyahu also stated that there will be an operation, but he would not embark on it in the moment before they were ready, stating that we are preparing for a different war. And finally, it reports that after leaving President Putin, Netanyahu told reporters an operation in Gaza could happen at any moment, including 4 days before the elections. The date of the elections is not a factor, and Reuters is reporting that Israel must be allowed to act freely against Iran, stated Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday during his visit with President Putin. The two leaders have met more than a dozen times in recent years, and the country's militaries have been working to avoid accidental clashes in Syria, where Israel says it has carried out hundreds of strikes against Iranian targets to stop them from establishing a permanent military base in Syria. Netanyahu said at the start of the meeting, "Security coordination between us is always important, but it is especially important now, since in the past month, there has been a serious increase in attempts by Iran to hit Israel from Syria and to place their precision missiles to use against us." And in addition to that, RT News is reporting that Netanyahu's spokesman, Evan Gary Cohen, suggested that Tel Aviv will not tolerate Iran's threats, accusing them of using Syria's territory to wage aggression against Israel. The Israeli PM would like Moscow to share such a stance and ultimately see the Iranian presence eliminated in Syria. Cohen stated that, "I think the Iranian presence in Syria is something that Russians and Israel both would like to come to an end. It's something that they desire, but it's an opinion that appears to be in stark contrast with that of Russia, which has been engaged in military and economic cooperation with Iran, while repeatedly criticizing the attempts to paint Iran as the sole source of troubles in the Middle East. Russia has condemned Israeli attacks on targets in Syria. And speaking to reporters on Thursday, both Putin and Netanyahu stressed the importance of cooperation between the militaries of the two countries, further needing to prevent any potential run-ins between them, as well as to fight terrorism. In the meantime, Arutz Sheva is reporting that Russia warned on Wednesday that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's pledge to annex the Jordan Valley could escalate tensions. The Russian Foreign Ministry said it was concerned over the Israeli leadership's plan, saying its implementation could lead to a sharp escalation of tensions in the region and undermine hopes for the establishment of a long-awaited peace between Israel and its Arab neighbors. Moscow pointed out that Netanyahu's pre-election pledge drew a sharp negative reaction in the Arab world and reiterated its calls for direct talks between Israel and the Palestinian Arabs. The announcement was also criticized by the European Union, which warned that annexation would undermine chances for peace in the region. So definitely a very tense situation all around. And as always, I'll continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. I just wanted to bring you guys
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Lakakadash, na Bohana to the elder and apostle of great wisdom, peace, blessing, salutation to Zaki, and pushing the truth to the four winds of the heaven. It's another edition It's another report about the algorithm of ww3. And then this Netanyahu say war in Gaza could break out before the election. And he went on to say he wanted to annex some part of Jordan, man. Remember, this will lead to war eventually. The war will happen in a day when the Lord wants. Our job is to prophesy. So let's read from Amos 5, verse 16. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord says thus, wailing shall be in all street, and it shall say in all the highway, alas, alas. They shall call the husbandman to mourning, and such as skillful of lamenting to wailing. Let's jump to verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, to what end is for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and no light. What is this talking about? This is talking about that great war which is coming, man. It will be the day of darkness and no light. And this darkness goes into actual darkness, which will be blotted through those mushroom cloud. And another meaning is the wisdom of this world won't work, man. Because this reason they actually don't want to believe that ww3 is coming. I was dealing with Hemite here, and they was like ww3 will come like 2,000 years to come. They don't want to believe, man. But in their subconscious mind, they know that ww3 is coming. Verse 9, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him. So you have this Edomite who want to run away from judgment. Those Edomite who know ww3 is coming. They are trying to run to the mountain. They are trying to run to country which, according to them, those country won't be stricken with nuclear missiles. They are trying to prep in whatever way they are prepping. They actually want to learn from judgment. And a bear met him, or went into a house and lament, and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very darkness and not brightness in it? So the Lord is going into these people who want to flee. They actually think that they are smart, they can use their brain to escape judgment. The Lord is telling you the day of the Lord will be darkness. What does this mean? It means that during the day of judgment, understanding will hide itself, man. What is understanding is basic. What do you call this? What do you call this? What is common sense? Common sense will hide itself, man. You will have people who will solve the mystery and start hiding behind a trash can, or hide behind a bicycle, or hide behind a car. That symbolizes understanding being taken from them. A good example is which happened in the Bahamas, man. People were trying to learn to church, man. That was a glimpse of what is coming, man. You have actual people trying to learn to churches, actual people trying to hide behind a trash can. That's how the Lord is powerful, man, and the Lord is to be feared. Because when the Lord want to judge you, he will first take all your understanding, man. The skill which will enable you to survive, man. And these doomsday's preppers, you will see them that day, man. They will be like headless chicken. See? Let's jump into Amos 9, and I will read. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them with the head. What is this talking about? This is talking about the three, man. The foundation of this earth will be shook, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with a sword. What is that sword, man? A nuclear weapon, man. And he that flees of them shall not flee away, and he that escape of them shall not be delivered. Those they dig into hell, hence shall my hand take them. Those they climb upon the heaven, hence will I bring them down. And this is what you see as I went on to teach. I have done a video about this. This is what you see will break out from the Middle East, if you can understand, man. You see, if you can understand anything. let's go to what this is Nahum 1:6. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rock are thrown down by him. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knows them that trust in him. See? Let's jump to verse 9. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. The affliction shall not rise up a second time. That was talking about the nation of Israel. Man. How? By burning this other nation with nuclear missiles. Man. You see? Killing the last of them with fire. Man. You see? Killing the last one of them with fire. And this is Isaiah 33, starting at verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherous, and I deal not treacherous with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherous, they shall deal treacherous unto thee. O Lord, be gracious unto us, we have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. At noise of the turmoil of the people fled, at the lifting up of thy tail, for a nation were scattered. You see? So this is going to us, praying to the Lord to have mercy on us, man. And the Lord is giving a warning, saying, woe to thee who spoiled and will not spoiled, did treacherous will not did treacherous. Who is this talking about? This is talking about mainly the Edomite. If you go even deeper, the Amalekite, man. Because the Amalekites are the one who instigate every wickedness which is going on here on earth. Those Israelis there. This who claim to be Israelis there. So the Lord is about to get down on them. That's why he started by saying woe unto them, man. And in verse 2, we are praying to the Lord that he revenge on us, man. He have mercy on us, man. That's why it said, oh Lord, be gracious unto us. Oh Lord, be gracious unto us, for those who afflict us, for those who did treacherous with us. If you know anything, the Jews over there are the one who funded the slavery, man. And the majority of the wicked elite, they come from the house of Amalek, man. The chief house of Esau, man. You see? So their day is coming, man. With that, I hope you brothers are edified. On to the next. Shalom.